Welcome to the Collaborative Resource Hub by Wellness Provisions. I'm Amy McBride, owner of Wellness Provisions, the most badass wellness business. You're tuning in to the Delay Dying Blog podcast edition because who wants to read when you can have someone read to you? Unless you like using your eyeballs, then catch every single essay over on the website. Just select ones, make it to the podcast. And if you're the pill popping type, no supplements, then Welly P has you covered. We supply rock and rollers with high quality supplements. We're a trustworthy place to go where you can essentially shop blindfolded. Last but not least, my legal disclaimer: nothing in this essay or the Collaborative Resource Hub substitutes medical advice. Please connect with your GP if you need medical guidance. These are my essays, my take on all things wellness, written to educate and inspire. Enjoy today's essay. You can't save them. They have to save themselves. Yeah, that person you care about a lot, they have to save themselves. And if you're that person that wants saving, reality check, homie, you're gonna have to step up and take charge of your own life. In this essay, I'm just gonna riff on the importance of why people need to step up for themselves and why it's not a great thing to be the person who wants to save people and why you should want to save yourself. And this is coming from the perspective of a wellness coach who is also a tremendously caring friend and someone who has greatly understood the importance of loving yourself first over the years, but definitely not in the beginning. So, without further ado, let's jump in. There's a passage in Young Pueblo's book, Lighter, that I believe is a great place to start here. It really sets the tone. He writes, "When it comes to you and the inner workings of your mind, no one has the power or authority to save you the way you can save yourself. All therapists, meditation teachers, counselors, and coaches can do is guide you to reclaim your own power. A guide is not a savior. A guide is simply the person who can show you how to walk the right path so that you can finally live without having to carry so many mental burdens." So for me, that's exactly the perspective I have when it comes to helping others. When I read that passage, I was like, oh, hell yeah, he nailed it with absolute precision. But let's back up for a second. Why do I feel this way regarding helping others? Have I always come at it from this point of view? Nope, absolutely not. And that's exactly why I am fully behind this way of thinking now. I used to be that girl who wanted to save people, specifically one guy, but really, I was down to save anyone. Anyway, I wanted to solve all his problems, even the ones he didn't realize he had. You know where that got me? Nowhere good. In the deficit within my own mental health and well-being. I had no idea what boundaries were, what loving myself looked like, and when to back the fuck off. So I kept pushing. I kept researching things. I kept finding answers, and he kept ignoring them. He kept going on benders. He kept doing his own thing. I kept crying. I kept caring. I kept hurting myself. Self-love. That term may or may not feel stupid to you, but that's irrelevant. The concept is what matters here. You must love yourself more than you love another person. You must care about your own heart, your own feelings, and your own energy levels, your own progression in life towards your goals, more than someone else's well-being. Because in the end, ultimately, all you really have is yourself. And as they say, you can't pour from an empty cup. You will run out of fuel if you don't replenish yourself along the way. Also, not to mention the fact that most folks who care more about others than themselves are so out of touch with themselves, they are typically burying feelings and perhaps good old-fashioned trauma so far below the surface that if they just keep their attention on this other person, they won't have to look at themselves or sit with themselves or feel their own emotions. Except all you're really doing is hurting yourself, so you're left with that crappy feeling. except it's easier to justify now rather than the feelings deep down that you don't want to have to unpack. So yeah, you have to care about yourself more than someone else. By all means, be a considerate, loving, kind, and thoughtful human being, but have your limits. Additionally, the more you go inwards with yourself, the more you start to heal your own internal issues, the better you'll be able to give to others. The more unconditional love you'll have to offer, the more resources you'll be aware of from having seeked them out for yourself first, the more understanding you can truly be for another human being. It all starts inside you. It's not your job to heal them. They have to heal themselves. And you know when that's going to happen? When they're sick and tired of being sick and tired. Everyone has a threshold for their own bullshit, and only they know where that line is. And until they cross that line, they won't take healing themselves seriously. Fact. Just like an alcoholic can't quit drinking for his wife or his kids or to save his job, he can only quit for himself. Outside factors no longer matter. It's what's inside that is driving all choices. So until they reach that point that is currently floating around somewhere in space without known coordinates, they are going to keep doing what they're doing. Each of us who are crammed onto this planet are walking our own path at our own speed. Things click at the moment that we're ready for them to. The moment we're prepared and capable to utilize that next level information and allow it to benefit us. You can't force someone's growth, progress, or understanding. They're learning exactly what they need to for their own journey at the pace they're supposed to. Even if it appears painful or confusing from your perspective, it's not for you to truly intervene and force yourself on them. They have to heal themselves. You have to heal yourself. Yes, you. Okay, now I'm talking to you, the wandering soul. It's not your job to receive healing from someone else. You're not owed that. You have to step up and heal yourself. Change only works when you have a reason to change. That fire within you has to begin to start burning so strong that it's ready to raise everything that's tangled and overgrown. You have to clear the brush and start anew. You have to define your purpose. You have to find the reason you get up every morning. What is that thing that is worth the pain? Everything in life has pain and struggle, right? So pick the thing that has enough meaning behind it that the pain is worth it. Is that easy to figure out? No, but is it a worthwhile journey? Absolutely. For without this clarity, you'll always be clouded. You have to want to change for yourself and only yourself, because you're the only one who can hold yourself accountable. A wellness coach like me, or your therapist, or your best friend, or your partner, they may encourage you, motivate you when you're in a rut, remind you of that meeting you're supposed to go to, but no one can make you do anything except yourself. It has to be you. You have to want a better life for yourself. You have to want to feel better in your mind and body. You have to want clarity instead of foggy, murky thinking. You have to want to feel empowered instead of like a thrown away victim. You have to want to overcome the struggle instead of letting the struggle bury you. You have to want more because more is absolutely available to you. But if you don't want it bad enough, you'll never get it. You'll self-sabotage yourself. You'll stay walking aimlessly with the victim, everyone hates me, I never win mentality. You'll constantly reject people who want to love you because you don't know what to do with that love. And you'll continue to surround yourself with people who don't actually want to see you succeed because that feels more familiar and more comfortable. So, you lovely person wearing a cape right now, the hero. Do you see why you can't swoop in and save them? It's so much bigger than you. Their struggles, their desires, their goals, their confusion, their love, it's for them to untangle and organize. So what can you do? Give them a book to read, but let that be that. They have to be the one to open it and read it. Give them space to talk, unless it interferes with your own life, your own time, your own well-being. Encourage them to find a therapist, to seek out resources to improve their lifestyle choices, to listen to a podcast episode that may be a positive influence. But the point is, all you can do is extend your hand and give them that thing. It's up to them to take it from you. And if they do take it and consume it and want more, then you can give them more, but not until they ask for more. And you lovely wandering soul, why not start walking on your own path towards healing and self-betterment? What's stopping you? Why do you feel so undeserving of a happier life? You know, the brain is flexible. It can shift and change. It can improve. Neuroplasticity, look it up. Your brain and your feelings are not fixed. That trauma that you experience that gives you PTSD is not permanent. There are clinically studied therapies like EFT tapping, emotional freedom technique, and EMDR, eye movement desensitization and reprocessing, that are healing people from traumas they never thought they'd overcome. So until you're ready to stop being identified by this label of self-defeat and come into your power, you're going to remain where you are, living in fear. My 2 cents is to step through that fear and walk into the unknown realm of healing, because at least the fear you're feeling there has the possibility to transmute itself into a healthier feeling of love and understanding. Also, one last thing I want to riff on: neurotransmitters, the chemicals in our brains that create our personalities. Serotonin, dopamine, GABA, those things. Yeah, they aren't fixed either. They can ebb and flow. They can be increased and decreased by lifestyle choices. So if your serotonin is low, that isn't a life sentence. It's an opportunity to make some shifts in your life and then see your serotonin level up. All things are possible. I hope this was enlightening for you. Whether you're the one with the cape or you're the one who feels lost, don't feel lost. Don't feel overwhelmed. Whatever you want for yourself is possible, and all good things take time and practice. Start slow. Just start. And if you need any support, obviously that's in my wheelhouse as a wellness coach, so please reach out. Until next time, Amy from Wellness Provisions.
My life was a mess until I met